Chris. Thanks for tuning in to another one of my videos. But today I figured what we'll do is we'll talk about headlights. Because headlights are something that are pretty simple to work on, change out, adjust. But the main thing is to get it lined up for the road. I know a lot of people are always asking, how do you adjust the headlights up and down, and I think it's kind of complicated. But really, it's pretty easy on most bikes. All you need is a Phillips head screwdriver, and you should be able to get the job done. Let's check it out. So today we're looking at a V-Star 650. All headlights are pretty much the same though. You usually have two screws on the back side that need to come out. Allow this ring to pop off. There's a clip on top, so once the screws come out, you pull from the bottom up and then out. See, here's a Honda. Same way, you got a bolt here, one bolt. You got another bolt here. Second bolt. Same thing, bottom of the light, clip up top. Once you remove those two screws, this pulls up and out. We're actually gonna take this one off today, but also what I wanted to show you before taking off the headlight is I also wanted to show you how we get into adjusting the headlight. So a headlight is basically on two pivots. The two pivots are very simple. You have one Phillips head screwdriver here, and you have one Phillips head screwdriver here. Now, as you adjust one of these screws, it's actually on a spring system behind the light, and it'll adjust it out one way or the other. So for time purposes, instead of using a screwdriver, I'm gonna use a drill. And I want you to be able to see. Usually you want to use a screwdriver, but I'm gonna use a drill so you can see it a little faster. So the headlight brushes out. As you can tell, now the headlight is much further out. I come to this side, same thing. Just make sure not to adjust it too far because you don't want to loosen it from the nut inside completely. Because if you do, then you have to take the whole headlight off, and it's going to be more than just adjustment. As you can tell, the headlight is pulling out. You'll see right there, it's pulling out. And if you need to go back in, same way. And that's how you adjust it up and down, in and out, off those two pivots. Now I'm going to go ahead and put them back in. So I can get it pointed downward again, back towards the road. Normally you want to do this with a regular screwdriver and a power screwdriver, because these screws can slip out pretty quick if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. Alright, see, now we got it at an angle. See how it's sunk in sideways? So that means I've got one of the screws off. So what I need to do is loosen this one out. Straightening up. You see the light, the gap's getting smaller. And there it is. It's about where we want it right there. So now that it's adjusted, it's pointed down at the road where I want it. Pretty even on this side, even on this side. We're done. But that's how you make adjustments on the headlight. These two Phillips head screws. So if you get your bike and the bike that you get, the light's out of adjustment, because it can be done really easily by if someone hits this really hard, it knocks it out of place or something like that. So be sure to adjust your headlight as needed, and make sure it's staring at the road. Next, we want to look at removal. So we're going to come over here to this screw, pull it out. Sometimes that nut on the inside spins a little bit, so you want to kind of pull it out as you go. That one's loose. Come over to this side. Same thing. Alright, once that one's loose, now we can come in here and pull out the bolts. There's one bolt. Pull out the other bolt. Oh, that wasn't quite loose yet. There it goes. Let's see, I'll pull this out. So normally I would say continue to use a screwdriver, not a power screwdriver. It makes it work a lot better, but for time purposes, and so the video doesn't take forever. All right, so now once we get to this point, this should be difficult. I've never done this without both hands before, but you'll want to pull up because the clip's up here. So I'm going to take it and pull up from the bottom where I remove the bolts. Pull up from the bottom and then pull it up. As you can tell, that's where the clip is here. That's one clip, and then you have your 2 bolt holes that you see in the bottom that screwed into those 2 pegs. One peg there, one peg there. So you got the 2 pegs right there that you're screwing into. And now you can also see what I was talking about with the spring system for the lamp. As you adjust those screws on those springs, it takes the frame of this back and forth until it gets adjusted right. But then that's it. Then when you get done making your adjustments on your light or making any adjustments that you need to do, once again, you want to start with the top. Get that clipped on the top. Make sure it's up there good. Pop it back in down here. You got your holes lined back up. Put your screws back in, and you're all done. So that's how you remove a headlight and how you adjust a headlight. So that way if you need to change out a bulb, you'd be able to take the entire ring off, pull the headlamp out, change out the bulb. If yours doesn't allow you to change out the bulb and you have to change out the whole fixture, sometimes this entire light here will get replaced. And same process there. You just pull that outer ring off and it opens up that headlight so you can get in there. Some other things that you might find inside that headlight housing, if like this bike, we took the blinkers off, so there's no blinkers on this bike, and I actually stuffed the wires for the blinkers back in the headlight, so that way they were out of the way and hidden. So if you get a bike that's bobbed out, same thing like this one, see this one's bobbed out as well. Used to have blinkers. Blinkers are gone. They're now, the wiring is inside that housing. So if you are one of those types of people that likes the blinkers, I'm not a big blinker guy. I like to use my hand gestures. I think those get people's attention better. But if you do like the blinkers and all that, like I said, sometimes if you buy a bike and it doesn't have the blinkers on it, those are where you'll find the blinker wires for the front. Usually the other blinker wires are underneath the seat. If they've taken it off, they'll put it underneath the seat since that runs right back to the back fender. But anyways, so thank you for joining me on this little voyage on headlights, understanding headlights. So now you can do your own bulb replacements if needed. You can do your own adjustments if needed. Like I said, but now you know all there is to know about a headlight. The only other thing that there really is if for some reason your headlight stops working, before you do anything else, and I do mean anything else, almost all bikes are going to have a fuse box. In that fuse box, there will be a fuse for a headlight. So let's just take a look at that real quick. This pops off here. It covers out of the way. This is the battery on the V-Star 650s. This is definitely where the fuse box is. I'd imagine most of them are probably done that way. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the fuse box there. It's not very big on a bike, not much to fuse. But see, you can tell by looking in there, that's the fuse box. You'll see over here on the chart, there's a fuse for headlight, the very first one. So if your headlight stops working, first thing you want to do is check the fuse. But if it's more than the fuse, now you know how to break down the headlight from all the way from start to finish, as far as taking out the outer ring by removing the 2 screws on either side, popping it from the top where the clip is, and allowing the entire headlight to fall off in your hands. That way you have access to the bulb or any other, like I said, adjustments you need to make. You also know how to tilt the headlight up and down by adjusting the 2 screws in this little hole right here. There's one on this side right here. You see that right there? Yeah, there we go. So you got the headlight, you got one there, you got one there. And as you adjust those screws, much like we saw on the other headlight, it is on a spring system in here. So as you tighten that spring, It'll pull that headlight in or pull that headlight out depending on where you want it, like we did earlier in the video. And there you have it, folks. Pretty much anything that you'd ever want to know about a headlight on a motorcycle. Now, there are going to be some custom headlights out there that might be a little bit different, but for the most part, this is what you're going to have, is a simple way to get into the headlight and make adjustments. Now, I showed you on 2 different import bikes here. Harleys are the same on a lot of their bikes as well. Pretty much any bike I've ever came across, the headlight comes off the exact same way. There's 2 screws towards the bottom on either side, and then a clip on top that holds it in place. So I hope you got something out of this video as far as how to look at your headlight, how to diagnose if something's wrong, where the fuses are, things like that, so you can better understand your headlight on your motorcycle. For me, that's a really important light. Your brake light to keep people from hitting you, and a headlight so you keep from hitting anybody else. But thank you, I appreciate it, and I hope you got something out of this video. Now let's check out some. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video, another Motorcycle Money Flip. Now be sure to subscribe below to see more videos like this.